Many filmmakers have a pretty good utilization of color theory. Bright and saturated for a happy tone, or dark and desaturated for something more grounded. But there's one filmmaker who chooses to blur the lines between joy and darkness.
She and our infant son would be killed 2 years later by the Prussian grippe, an absurd little disease.
Cut! Not enough smoke and the snow was too loud. We'll go again right away. Making movies.
While on the surface, Wes Anderson's movies look vivid and vibrant, the colors are often actually at odds with the subject matter. So why does Wes Anderson complicate our ideas of color theory so much? Let's dive into his style. Remember to subscribe and click the bell icon to stay in the loop for more filmmaking videos. First, let's talk HSB, the DNA of color. It stands for hue, saturation, and brightness. Hue refers to the color family. Wes Anderson gravitates towards primary colors like reds and yellows. Saturation refers to the intensity of the color. Anderson typically uses a high saturation so that these primary colors really pop. When he does switch to a desaturated color palette, it usually marks a shift in tone. Lastly, brightness, which is how light or dark a given color is. His worlds are bright and colorful, but that's just the facade.
Why'd you try to kill yourself?
Don't press him right now.
I wrote a suicide note.
What's not obvious is the effect of combining these colors with Anderson's dark subject matter.
I'm going to kill myself tomorrow.
Is it dark?
Of course it's dark. It's a suicide note.
And yes, it is dark, though it may seem light.
Can we read it?
No.
Can you paraphrase it for us?
Anderson's is a storybook world, colored in this way to give it a childlike perspective. But this aesthetic carries over to his live-action films as well. Let's look at the Grand Budapest Hotel.
A picturesque, elaborate, and once widely celebrated establishment.
Throughout the film, we're exposed to vivid colors and a whimsical world. Even though these characters live in a world similar to our own, complete with death,
wrap this stiff in a tablecloth. We're going to bury him at sea.
and war. This isn't reality after all.
What kind of bird are you?
For Wes Anderson, whimsy feels right at home.
I'm a raven.
But the themes of his films would seem to be at odds with his color choices.
On mescaline. I've been spaced out all day. Did you say you're on mescaline?
This combination shouldn't work, right?
Here I come.
What was that? Eli just crashed his car into the front of the house.
Oh my God.
Much like storybook characters, Wes Anderson's characters are often connected to a single color.
Where are we?
Monsieur Gustave is purple. Susie is pink. Chaz is red. Let's look at that last color, red. It comes up a lot in Wes Anderson's films. The crew in Life Aquatic wear red beanies. The brothers in the Darjeeling Limited drive a red car. In Rushmore, Max wears a red hat.
I like your hat.
Oh, thank you.
Chaz and his sons in the Royal Tenenbaums wear red tracksuits. But let's look deeper at the characters themselves. They all have issues progressing past a regressed adolescent state. Chaz Tenenbaum suffers from immense trauma from his father, leaving his family at a young age.
Do you still love Mom?
Yes, very much, but your mother's asked me to leave, and I must respect her position on the matter.
And his wife tragically died in a plane crash.
Fire alarm! Let's go!
As a result, Chaz is overprotective.
Hey! Are you listening to me?
Yes, I am! I think you're having a nervous breakdown. I don't think you recovered from Rachel's death.
Chaz is in a state of arrested development, which is why he comes across as childish throughout the film.
4 minutes, 48 seconds. We're all dead, burned to a crisp.
All these characters who wear red have some kind of trauma they're trying to overcome. And in Chaz's case, the only time we see him shed his red palette is when his chance to finally reconcile with his father already passes. So when designing color palettes for your characters, consider what colors you can associate them with. Wes Anderson's films are not afraid to deal with serious subject matter. But why does he use colors associated with happy tales or cartoons for such serious stories?
Was he a good dog? Who's to say? But he didn't deserve to die.
His films find the humor in these dark places.
Don't point that gun at him. He's an unpaid intern.
So using hopeful colors in depressing scenes makes sense for the bipolar tone. Consider the contrasts in the funeral scene from the Darjeeling Limited. A young boy has died, but the scene is punctuated by bright whites and golds. People grieve openly and celebrate the boy's life. It's a stark contrast to the flashback we get in the next scene, where the brothers are on their way to attend their father's funeral. They're dressed in black, and we don't even see the funeral.
This isn't gonna work. Let's put the cover back on. Let's go.
Many of Wes Anderson's characters repress their emotions, which is a shame because they live in such beautiful worlds filled with wonder. So consider the central truth of your next film. If things are meant to be bleak, then be bleak.
You filthy goddamn popcorn-cracking asshole!
But don't be afraid to show how lively and filled with color the world can be. His characters often deal with childhood traumas. In this way, his films are told from a childlike perspective. They take place in these whimsical worlds, but there are still serious issues amongst all the bright colors. It creates a bipolar effect where we, as the audience, are forced to reconcile the darkness with humor and light. Make sure to read our blog post on color theory, where we dive deeper into Wes Anderson and other filmmakers' color palettes to create unique cinematic experiences, and how you can too. Links in the description. What are your favorite color palettes from other films? Why do you think the hues and saturation work as well as they do? Do they communicate something unexpected? To stay in the loop, subscribe and enable notifications.